Live from News Channel 3, the desert's news leader, this is a First Alert Weather Alert.
Scenes like this playing out around the valley tonight. This video is from Cathedral City, where officials say at least 46 people have been rescued. We're tracking a First Alert Weather Alert as the valley begins recovery efforts from Hillary.
And this video shows just how deep the mud in Cathedral City is. Many parts of the valley still struggling today with high floodwaters and debris. Riverside County has issued a state of emergency.
News Channel 3's Marion Bouchot is live along the I-10, which just fully opened after being closed overnight. Drivers were trapped for hours when heavy amounts of rain, mud, and debris hit that freeway. We'll check in with her in just a moment. Our
coverage begins with our Samantha Lomibao, who is live in Cathedral City, which saw some of the worst damage in the valley. Sam, what are you learning?
Well, Peter, I can confirm that this is some of the worst damage that we've seen. You were talking about the mud. Well, I'm right in it, and you can see just how high and how thick that mud is. That's over ankle deep right now. And believe it or not, on this street, it is just like that. Some parts of this even deeper. Cathedral City Fire Department telling me they've seen up to 5-6 feet of mud and water piled over. If you take a look, you could still see cars that are stuck and stranded in this mud. And just right around the corner, one of those homes is one of those 46 rescues we saw this evening. 14 elderly residents were taken out of a facility home out there. Fortunately, none of them were injured, but we know 6 of them were unable to move for themselves. You're taking a look of that video right now where you can see those wheel dozers pulling those people out of this mud. As you can see, you saw how thick it was. And Mayor Rita Lamb saying, you know, despite all of this damage that we've been seeing, the community has definitely come together during this time.
Several of our residents were going door to door, knocking on doors saying, do you need any help? Do you need food? Do you need water? The community, has grown up together. I moved here in 1981. It was a little sleepy town, and we've grown up taking care of each other. So, todos estamos unidos. We are in this together, and it shows every single day.
Yeah, and even up to a few minutes ago, we saw residents still trying to shovel mud with those bulldozers' help, trying to just clear out even some of the sidewalks when they can. And on top of these rescues, they were battling 2 active gas leaks to help try to mitigate a fire while clearing out those areas. And they also had 7 water rescues from today in through yesterday. Fortunately, the one that happened down the street was the last of 46. Again, no injuries, but I mean, Peter, Karen, you can see just how thick this mud is. I'm barely moving, so imagine putting a car over 1,000 pounds putting through this, and you can see just how stuck it will be. So even if you see those flooded roads and that water has receded, that mud is still a danger and a risk, and officials are urging you not to drive through it. Live in Cathedral City, Samantha Lomibao, News Channel 3.
Certainly a mess out there. All right, Sam, thanks. This is what the 10 freeway looked like earlier this morning after intense flooding covered the roadway in deep mud. Overnight, drivers were stuck on the road for hours. Caltrans crews have been working all day, and now both sides have reopened. News Channel 3's Marion Bouchot joins us now from the freeway. And Marion, you've been speaking with drivers out there. How are things looking?
Peter, so many drivers are frustrated, just wondering when this is going to reopen, because eastbound, if you're headed down eastbound on I-10, CHP has been forcing people out on the Date Palm exit, but we just learned about 10 minutes ago from CHP that eastbound I-10 is going to reopen in about the next hour or so. But for right now, this is what it's looking like. I'm going to have my photographer pan over. We still have miles and miles of traffic eastbound on the 10. People still being forced to exit right now, but hopefully CHP said within the next hour it is going to look a lot different. But because of all of this detouring, people are flooding Varner. That's where they're getting forced to go, and it is just becoming an absolute nightmare of a traffic jam. I talked earlier with a tow truck driver who told me he got stuck here in the area trying to help out a customer.
It's like a big mess, though. What else can I say? I didn't expecting this. I thought it was easy to come and pick up the car, but this is a real big mess. And I thought it was easy to come and get the car and go. Now I had to wait for maybe a couple hours. I don't know.
So hopefully the wait is going to be over here soon for so many frustrated drivers and officials. CHP told us that right now Caltrans cleanup crews have been going back over the lanes, making sure that the lines are going to be visible for drivers and it's going to be safe for them. So they're just making sure that everything is good to go before they're planning to open it up here within the next hour or so. So hopefully whenever I check back with you in studio, I'll have some good news and cars will be moving eastbound. But if you do decide to take the 10, just know that regardless of I-10 eastbound opening, there is still miles and miles and miles of traffic. And if you do head westbound on the 10, just know that if you plan to come back east, it is going to be a nightmare of a traffic jam. So just keep that in mind. Try to stay off the roads, especially the 10 westbound and eastbound. That way you don't get stuck in any traffic. Live in Cathedral City, Marian Bouchot, News Channel 3.
Thank you, Marian. New drone video into the newsroom from Palm Springs. You can see the incredible amount of mud on the road there. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen tracking your conditions. And Haley, as we start the long process of cleaning up, is the weather going to behave?
Thankfully, yes. The weather is on our side as we begin the cleanup from Tropical Storm Hillary. We've already seen the majority of our skies clear, a few cumulus clouds lingering, especially over the mountains. But overall, sunshine has returned. That's really helping to help dry things up, especially where all of the mud is. And the cleanup process can continue as we head into tomorrow. Looking from our Indian Wells camera, you can see those clear skies directly overhead. Still water flowing through the golf course at Indian Wells Golf Resort, but certainly not as active of a flow as it was even just earlier this morning. So starting to see things settle down a little bit more, but clearly there is still water out there. So if you are planning to head outdoors this evening to begin the cleanup around your backyard, we are looking at those temperatures treating us nice. Going to be in the mid 80s over the next hour, cooling down into the low 80s by 9 and 10 p.m. These are below normal temperatures for this time of year, and I am tracking a warm up as we head through the rest of this week. So we'll take a look at those temperatures coming up in my First Alert forecast.
All right, Haley, thanks. We're tracking developments out of La Quinta, where in the last 2 minutes, city officials have provided an update in the wake of the storm. Let's go to Jennifer Franco at the Breaking News Center. Jen?
Yeah, that's right, Peter. And just minutes ago, like you said, the city put out that update noting that even though efforts to clear roads of debris are ongoing tonight, all facilities will reopen tomorrow. That includes City Hall, the Wellness Center, the library, and the Fritz Burns Pool. These have all been deemed safe for the public. So some positive news as we, of course, continue to track those cleanup and recovery efforts across the Coachella Valley. Karen, Peter?
All right, Jen, thanks.
Our complete coverage of the cleanup now underway from Hillary continues tonight.
Take a look at new photos just into the newsroom showing a sinkhole at El Dorado and Fred Waring in Indian Wells. Throughout the day, viewers have reported water crews on the scene working to make repairs.
And as we continue to assess the damage and make repairs, help us keep the Valley informed by sending your photos and videos to share at KESQ.com. You're watching News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader.
In addition to damage to homes, roads, and cars, as News Channel 3's Miyoshi Price found out today, Hillary left its mark on local businesses. And Miyoshi, the cleanup continues tonight inside some local stores and restaurants.
Hi, Peter. Yes, at Rock's Firehouse Grill in Palm Desert, I talked with Priscilla Kobe. She came in to work today to find water covering the floor in one of those rooms. She says it came through one of the doors, this one right here. But not only that, there were also multiple leaks coming from the ceiling. She says although this isn't the first time rain has damaged the business, Rock's did not have tarps outside like some other businesses in the area.
It's costing us, I mean, we having to close. So this will probably cost us quite some money to get fixed because, it's just hard with the businesses these days. They can't afford to stay open.
While I was there, I saw crews working outside near a flooded area. It did cause some traffic. Kobe says she doesn't expect people to come dining in tonight. I also found out that the city of Palm Desert has posted an online survey asking for information about storm damages to businesses and homes. The goal is to help guide the recovery plan. We put a link on one of our articles on the website at KESQ.com. Live in studio, Miyoshi Price, News Channel 3.
See the damage there. It's happening. People are discovering the damage just now. You may not be aware, and you walk into your room and
it's costly.
And it is. Still to come tonight, we are hearing directly from Palm Springs Mayor Grace Gardner as the cleanup continues around the valley.
And images like this showing the Palm Springs airport sign tipped over due to flooding have been coming into the newsroom all day. Help us keep the valley informed by sending your photos to share at KESQ.com. Haley?
The sun is certainly a welcomed sight after all of yesterday's cloud cover and heavy rains. I am tracking what to expect for the rest of the week, and it does include the return of the monsoon. You're watching News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader.
People were getting stranded right here in the street, and I was helping them pull out with my truck. You know, I got the big black truck here, and yeah, it was just unbelievable, man.
We're getting firsthand accounts from around the valley tonight of the devastation left behind by Hillary. This is video from Desert Hot Springs and the Arroyo de Paz apartments, which saw heavy flooding overnight. Mission Springs Water District has issued a boil water notice for parts of Desert Hot Springs. The city, like several others in the valley, has issued a state of emergency. And we have new developments on a timeline for when school will be back in session for all 3 of our local school districts after storm cancellations at 2 of them. Jennifer Franco is at the Breaking News Center with up-to-the-minute details. Jen.
Yeah, Karen, minutes ago, Palm Springs Unified announced that schools will be closed Tuesday and Wednesday due to the large number of flooding issues on several major roadways still. And we know DSUSD schools will reopen tomorrow. CVUSD will start classes Thursday as originally planned. Morongo Unified will start classes tomorrow as planned. And then College of the Desert is set to start on Friday. Of course, if anything changes, we'll be sure to update our viewers. Back to you guys.
All right, Jen, thanks. Tonight, officials in Palm Springs say they are grateful residents took this storm seriously. I spoke today with Mayor Grace Gardner, who says she's amazed at how quickly the city pulled together. Grace, first off, what's the latest in Palm Springs?
Well, we are very fortunate, Peter. The roads are clearing up. The sky is blue and it's bright and sunny. Our team is working really hard to get things clean. We're still waiting on 111 to be open in both directions. Indian Canyon is still closed. There's been some images there, and it still looks pretty bad. But we are getting things moving step by step.
Just how bad has the damage been in Palm Springs?
Surprisingly little. So while we are looking at some damage to the roads, we haven't heard about too many residents having damage. The city hall has experienced some damage, but again, it's pretty minor. We have some fans and things in here right now. Some of the community centers need some fixes, but it's been really minimal. I think the team was extremely prepared, and also a lot of things were fixed in 2019, because in 2019 we had that flooding and there was quite a bit of damage then. So we've strengthened up since then.
Safe to say Palm Springs feels pretty lucky, especially compared to other valley cities right now.
Exactly. I was just talking about that. We see that there's quite the difference in the valley in terms of destruction. I know Cathedral City was hit really hard in one particular area, and I know our firefighters also helped with an evacuation there. So really the entire valley is experiencing this differently, and I think it goes to show that we really need to be more equitable with our resources in the valley, and that's where we need county and state leadership to really step in.
Do you think that most folks in Palm Springs took this storm seriously?
I do. I was really impressed with how few people were on the road. And even now, when I've been going around to assess damage, I'm not seeing that many cars. I'm just so grateful for our community and for our city staff and our first responders who have been out here making sure everyone knows to stay off the roads, and that our residents are following. So we really are extremely, extremely fortunate.
Was there anything from this storm that really surprised you?
You know, I think what surprised me the most was just the ups and downs of it all. I mean, we are still dealing with the 911 communication failure. However, every city has been able to manage, even though those lines are down. You can call 911 in Palm Springs and it will still go to an operator, for instance. But that infrastructure still is being worked on. But it went from, oh my gosh, this is dire, to, hey, we have a solution, really fast. And so as quickly as the roads were closing yesterday, they're opening today. So I'm just amazed at how much we're pulling together and how soon we are.
All right, Grace, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we are continuing our first alert weather alert today. Even though our radar is clear around the Coachella Valley, we are still seeing, of course, the impacts of Hillary there today, with continued flooding in some locations, and then, of course, all of the debris and the cleanup. Active radar certainly, though, over Arizona. You can see that line of showers stretching from the south up towards the north, and thunderstorms just to the east of that. Now, I am expecting this line of showers to move closer to the Colorado River as we head into tonight. I do not see this impacting the Coachella Valley, but it will be staying to our east, though it will be moving a little bit more towards the west as we head through the next couple of hours. A quick recap of some rain totals. I mean, Mount San Jacinto certainly impressive. More than 11 inches at the airport. We are looking at 3.32 higher totals in downtown Palm Springs, those locations closer to the mountains. Winds a big part of the tropical storm as it made its way through, with gusts exceeding 50 miles per hour here on the valley floor. A very different story for us tonight. Still going to be breezy out there, but nothing gusty. That's great for cleanup efforts because, again, that is what we are tracking, the leftover flooding and the debris out there that has led to road and business closures. Of course, cleanup is something that will be continuing through the week. And the good news is weather is going to be staying on our side right now. Mostly sunny skies out there for today. We've warmed up into the 90s. We'll continue to heat things up as high pressure moves back into the picture, though I am looking to see the return of monsoon on Thursday. Expect humidity to increase, and I will be tracking the opportunity for some showers to move back into the picture, arriving from the east, but those temperatures continue to climb as we head into the weekend. Peter, Karen?
Haley, thanks.
Well, Union Pacific officials say 2 routes in and out of Los Angeles Basin area are closed due to floodwaters over the rails.
Take a look at this video showing a train derailed near Palm Springs. No word on how long this is going to take to clean up.
And we're staying on top of recovery efforts after Hillary. You can find the newest information always at KESQ.com. You are watching the Desert's News Leader.
Well, as the Valley continues the long process of cleaning up after Hillary, News Channel 3's Crystal Jimenez shows us what you can do if your home suffered damage.
A lot of homes took a hit when it comes to damages because of the storm, like flooding on the side of homes or even in the backyard. This photo here showing shingles blown onto the ground. So here's what you should be doing to get things back to normal. If you're experiencing any flooding, find those drains and make sure it's clear of any debris. If you don't have any drains, you want to get that water out onto the street. You need to use a pump. Or if you have dirt, I'm told by a landscaper architect, building a trench will help the water be sucked up faster. If you're dealing with broken trees, you can start to cut them up or call a landscaper to do it for you. You want to drain that water out as quickly as possible. Standing water is a hub for mosquitoes, and you want to prevent it from entering your home in any way. For more of these tips, you can head over to KESQ.com. Crystal Jimenez, News Channel 3.
And before we take a final look at your first alert forecast, check out this video sent into the newsroom from Highway 62 in Whitewater. Water still flowing and lots of mud on the road there.
And thankfully, Haley, it's looking a little better, at least in terms of cleanup efforts.
It certainly is. The sun is out. That's going to help dry things up. And our temperatures are staying below normal for the majority of this week, which is great for so many people having to be outside doing the cleanup. So mid and upper 90s across the Coachella Valley for our Tuesday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine through Wednesday. Humidity is going to be increasing pretty big come Thursday. Sticky once again. I am going to be tracking the opportunity for some monsoonal shower storms to move into southeastern California on Thursday. Right now, just putting mostly sunny skies in the picture, but again, keeping a close eye on Thursday. Temperatures continuing to warm on up as we head into the weekend, but again, staying below normal for now, and I think that is very much appreciated.
Right about that. All right. Thanks, Haley.
And more news is coming up next on News Channel 3 on CBS Local 2.
News is on 24/7 on KESQ.com. Have a great night.
News Channel 3 is now available on any of these streaming services and on KESQ.com.